I'm very happy to be interviewing Gwendoline Allison, who is a lawyer in Vancouver, in the Vancouver area, and is speaking with us at the One Conference on the topic, The Face of Mercy. So welcome, Gwendoline, to this interview, and we look forward to having you in March at the conference. So Gwendoline, you are a lawyer and you're involved in different ways in the human trafficking cause. So tell us about your background and how you are connected with what we're doing in this conference, please.
Sure. I'm a lawyer in West Vancouver, and for the last 20 years I've been involved in employment law and human rights law. About 4 years ago I became involved in the Bedford case, which was a case challenging our laws on prostitution. And as a result of that work, I became more involved in advocacy work to work towards the abolition of prostitution and human trafficking through appearing before Parliament to obtain new laws, and now working to enforce the new laws, but also on education and advocacy so that we can end that. Law alone won't help, so we have to move it forward to be public education, and also to assist those in prostitution and who've been trafficked to get out of those areas.
Right. And you mentioned, as we were discussing this before the interview, that you spoke at the Red Mass, which for the viewers is an annual event in the Archdiocese for all Catholic lawyers. And you spoke to the lawyers and you invited them or challenged them to do something concrete. So can you tell us what that invitation was?
Sure. My invitation to lawyers was to work on several fronts. One is to get involved in the legal challenges that are going to come. The law has to be reviewed in 4 years. So what we need to do to make sure that the laws continue to be enforced and improved on is to build a mass of people who can comment on the laws and give their perspectives on what they want from the society that we envisage that's prostitution and trafficking free. So to call on them to get involved in the issue, to find out more about it, to learn about it by watching Red Light, Green Light or other films, and then to do something.
Okay. And are you hopeful, or do you know from the response that might happen?
Yes, I'm very hopeful. I think that it's part of Pope Francis's call to end human trafficking. It's a crime against humanity, and I am hopeful that we will do that. I think we can.
Wonderful. Okay. So on March 5th, you'll be speaking about the topic, the face of mercy. So tell us about what that means and why someone might want to come and hear that talk.
The face of mercy, it's something I've thought of when I began the work on the prostitution issue. And it came from the previous speaker at the Red Mass, Father Rosica, who spoke of Pope Francis, saying that when we look at the faces of those who are disadvantaged, including those who are trafficked, we see the gaze of Christ. And from that, we look at them in the view of that they are the face of mercy. And in our role to proceed with that, it's not just about giving, it's seeing their humanity in their faces and recognizing that our role is to see that and to assist and support them rather than just give to them, to permit them then to move on.
There's a way of respecting that they're human persons, isn't it? They're not just recipients of our charity.
Absolutely.
Which is a very different thing, isn't it?
It's a completely different thing. It is about seeing their humanity, recognizing their dignity in their humanity, and respecting that.
And I can see how our view really makes all the difference, right? Whether it's one or the other. So that's a wonderful reminder, I think, to people. And you're, just to contextualize for the viewers, your piece in the conference. So we have 3 talks, and yours will be the last. The first is going to be more a personal witness of Angèle Regnier's discovery of areas of unforgiveness in her own life and areas of anger and resentment, as she said on her interview that I did with her, and finding freedom from that by God's grace. And then Ken Yasinski, our second speaker, will talk about having an eternal perspective, so reminding us that our lives exist for eternity. We have to live in light of eternity, and that ultimately is in light of God's plan of mercy in Christ. And then we are looking forward to it because you'll give us a way, an invitation as one way to live out of that mercy very concretely. So you challenged the lawyers at the Red Mass to do something. So you're going to also do that with everyone else, right? So maybe give us a little hint of what that might look like.
It will be a story of how I came to the issue and my background and the role that my faith played in that and how it came together. But it's also be a call to action as well. It'll be an example of what I did to make it concrete and the concrete things that I've done. And then a call to action, and not just to get involved in the human trafficking issue because it is important, but it's important to act and have your concrete action be based on something that is important to you. It's the calling to do something that you think, that's the issue that I want my name tacked to, and that's where I want to make the difference, and that's where I want to make the goal. So it's a call to find that role and to find that one bit that you say, there's where my colours go. Wow,
that's a beautiful expression. And you mentioned over lunch that we could think of this as what you would like tacked to your tombstone.
That's right.
It's like you're planting your flag in the ground. This is what I stand for.
That's right.
Gwendoline Allison, Kyle Nielsen, John Smith. And what's implied there is there's a cost. I mean, you perhaps can't say, but you must have a cost in your profession based on some of the decisions you're making and what kind of work you do. Correct?
There's a sacrifice to be made.
Right, and all of us is the same, and there's something really, I guess, noble and beautiful about that, but also hard. So
there's, sometimes the causes aren't popular.
Right.
I know that the prostitution issue isn't a popular one. Our media and our culture say the opposite from what I'm saying,
right,
in many ways.
Right.
So it's not popular. So you make your choices.
Right.
And so it has to be important to you then.
Right.
It has to be worth it.
Right. Okay, wonderful. We look forward to hearing all about that in a few months. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is that okay?
I hope so. I thought it was great.